So, saya baru tahu kita cuti. Alright, over here. Can see ya? Alright. So, your topic 1.2. Dalam topic 1.2 ni kita akan banyak calculation. A lot of calculation. Basically, your entire topic 1 is more on calculation. Okay? And in your topic 1.2, your mole concept over here, there is one thing that I want you to focus on first. Mole conversion. Kalau kamu tengok kat learning outcome, if you look at the syllabus, mole conversion is not in the syllabus. Alright? It's not because it's not important, it's extremely important. Why it's not in the syllabus? Because you are supposed to be extremely good from your form 5. Belajar kan benda ni kat form 4, form 5? Tapi masa zaman saya form 4, form 5, cikgu saya ajar guna cara bahagi darab. Betul? Dan cikgu saya ajar guna cara yang di mana cikgu saya dululah, mungkin cikgu kamu pandai mengajar, cikgu saya pun pandai je mengajar. Dia suruh kita orang hafal. Dia suruh kita hafal bila nak bahagi, bila nak darab. And I realized that that is one of the hardest way. And I come across this method when I was in matric like you. So, if you look at the diagram that I give to you, different from what you have in school is saya tak ada darab, saya tak ada bahagi. Arrow saya adalah double-headed. Saya hanya tunjuk macam mana nak tukar number of mole kepada benda lain. And before we start tukar-tukar tu, saya nak kamu pay attention on one thing adalah number of mole saya duduk di tengah sekarang. Okay? Dengan kata lain, before anything guys, dengan kata lain, kalau teacher ada mass dan saya nak tukar kepada volume at STP. Alright? Boleh tak saya tukar terus? Tak boleh. Look at the diagram. The diagram is exactly like how it going to work. Your mass, kalau nak tukar kepada volume, your mass must go through number of mole. The number of mole will then change to volume. Okay? Even though saya ada contoh soalan, kalau sekarang saya ada volume, I have volume at STP. I have it. Question asking for volume at RTP. Okay? Saya ada, saya nak benda ni. So same thing, we still need to go back to number of mole. From number of mole change to volume of RTP. No matter what you have or what the question want, before anything, number of mole kena ada dulu. That is the main thing. So dia sebenarnya tak penting apa yang soalan tanya dan apa yang soalan nak. Yang penting apa yang dia bagi, kalau bukan dalam number of mole, tukar number of mole. Kalau benda yang dia nak bukan dalam number of mole, cari dulu number of mole benda tu. That is the main thing. You must have the number of mole. Okay? And for the entire session over here, saya takkan paksa kamu bahagi atau darab sebab saya pun tak suka cara paksa-paksa nak hafal. Because bila kamu hafal bahagi atau darab, 99.99% dalam exam kamu confuse. Dalam soalan baca, benda ni kan, nak darab ke nak bagi ya? Betul. I think it happens a lot in your SPM. Alright, in your exam, in your quiz or whatsoever. Dalam masuk exam je, saya tak pastilah nak bagi ke darab. Pening, confused dan salah. Dan bila budak confused tu, saya rasa 99.999% tu memang salah dah lah. Okay? And saya tak nak kamu confused sebab kalau number of mole salah guys, you will basically get wrong the whole question. I don't know whether you realize or not, in long calculation question, number of mole is always the first thing. You get the number of mole, you calculate maybe the mass, and then you get the volume, and then the concentration, blah, 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 all the way down. But number of mole is always the first thing. And can you imagine when your number of mole calculated is wrong up there? You're gone, man. Soalan 10 markah, bye. Soalan 15 markah, bye. You're done. Okay, so over here, get the number of mole right. I don't want you to memorize whether it's divide or times. You are going to focus on the conversion itself. Senang je. When you have number of mole and you want to find the number of particles. Number of particles over here, we have 3 types. The number of particles is including atoms, is including molecules, is including ion. We talk about atoms, molecule, and ion in our previous video. Therefore, you should be extremely good to identify what is meant by atom, molecule, and ion. Okay? And normally, when the question say number of particles, the question will normally have the word number of kat depan. Number of atom, numbers of molecule, numbers of ion. That is the difference. Okay? Pay attention to the keyword. And the conversion will involve Avogadro constant. Avogadro constant kalau cari online, dia akan jadi 6.0223 something kat belakang. Tak payah. Kita guna 2 titik perpuluhan saja untuk constant ni, because if you refer to the list of constant that I give to you, is written 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23. Kita guna yang ni sahaja. Yang paling simple yang kita terima. Habis. Okay? So, why I insist on the decimal places? In the previous video, I insist on 4 decimal places in all calculations. Betul? Because, look at the power of. Alright? 10 darab 23 weh. 0.001 darab 10 kuasa 23 is a lot. You know? 1% from 10 ringgit is nothing. Tapi 1% from $1 million is a lot. So your decimal places is very important. Kalau kamu round off, jawapan kamu akan lari banyak. Nampak? That is the reason why you cannot round off. Must be 4 decimal places. Saya dah baik dah weh, saya guna decimal places. Kalau ikutkan cara yang paling betul, guna significant figures. Tapi matematik apa ke laut punya lah. Daripada nak kira apa, significant figures tak apa, kita tengok titik perpuluhan. Senang. Okay? So we are going to use decimal places. So over here, when it's number of particles, the conversion is Avogadro constant. In the other words, 1 mole of anything basically is equals to 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23. 1 mole of girlfriend. Alright, Jun Xiang got 1 mole of girlfriend. When Jun Xiang say I have 1 mole of girlfriend, Jun Xiang means I have 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 girlfriend. Okay, that is 1 mole of girlfriend. Okay, kalau kamu kata 1 dozen of girlfriend, 1 dozen of girlfriend adalah 12. Tapi kalau 1 mole of girlfriend adalah 6.02 darab 10 kuasa 23. Right, Jun Xiang? Alright, so pakcik tu relax, tak ada apa, tak ada perasaan. Fine. Okay. That is your Avogadro constant. 1 mole is fixed. Okay. And next over here, we have volume at RTP. Anybody can tell me RTP, Azri? What is RTP stand for?
Room temperature and pressure.
Room temperature and pressure. And question next. What is the condition of room temperature and pressure? Aiman Saad?
Yes, madam.
What is the condition at room temperature and pressure?
Condition.
Oh yes, condition.
1 atm.
Lagi? Room temperature and pressure. So you have the pressure, you must have the temperature. So what is the temperature for RTP?
298 Kelvin.
298 Kelvin is equals to how many degrees Celsius? Afan? Afan? Come on. So only the simplest question. Room temperature pun tak tahu apa Abila. Baik Zati?
25.
Kawan kamu dah bagi Kelvin dah weh. Degree Celsius 25 lah. Awak room temperature pun tak tahu. Okay, extremely important to know the condition. Okay, because sometimes the question won't stated room temperature pressure. Kadang-kadang soalan akan bermula dengan ayat, a matriculation student started an experiment at 25 degrees Celsius 1 atm. So the moment bila soalan kata 25 degrees Celsius 1 atm, you should have in your mind is actually room temperature and pressure. Why do you need to know it's a room temperature and pressure? Because the molar volume is 24 liter. What is meant by over here is I have 1 mole of any gas. All right, any gas. Why I use gas only? Because it's volume. Volume only applicable to gas. Kita tak boleh kira volume untuk liquid, solid lagi tak boleh. But the volume over here at 25 degrees Celsius and 1 atm only apply to gas. Remember that. So right now, I have 1 mole of gas. Teacher letak 1 mole of gas ni dalam satu balloon. Sebab balloon boleh mengembang, boleh mengecut. So, saya ada 1 balloon. Saya masukkan 1 mole gas ni dalam balloon ni. And then, I bring this balloon, I bring it into a room. Satu bilik yang di mana pressure is 1 atm, suhu 25 degrees Celsius. Okay? I bring the balloon into that room. I put the balloon in the room. I close the room. So, pressure dengan temperature dalam bilik tu tak berubah. Dalam balloon ada 1 mole gas. Any gas. And the balloon akan mengembang sehingga mengambil volume 24 liter. Because 1 mole of gas, no matter what gas, when the 1 mole of gas is in this condition, your RTP, 1 atm 25 degrees Celsius, that 1 mole of gas mesti akan ambil ruang sebanyak 24 liter. 1 mole of oxygen gas sama 24.0 liter. 1 mole of carbon dioxide gas sama 24.0 liter. As long as they are gas and they are 1 mole. Okay? And vice versa, kalau teacher sekarang ada STP. Kalau RTP tadi adalah room temperature and pressure, what is actually STP stand for? Fatin? Tak payah selak nota weh. Come on. Fatin? Did you prepare for my class? Yes. What is STP? Kawan kamu semua duk tekan tangan kat mic, tak sabar nak buka mic ni. I don't like it when you can't answer my simple question. What is actually S stand for? And you say you prepare for my class. If you prepare for my class, you will see this at the beginning of the video. Right, class? Good. Yang lain mengangguk means I really mention it, I guess. Iman?
Standard.
Thank you, Iman. Standard. Yeah, Fatin. So standard temperature and pressure. What is the pressure? What is the temperature under this standard condition? I don't think you prepare for my class. Standard temperature and pressure. Haifa?
1 atm and 273K.
273K equals to how many degrees Celsius?
22.4.
I repeat my question. 270K Kelvin equals to how many degrees Celsius?
22.4.
Baukis? 0. Thank you, Safan. Safan, mic problem ke? Alright, 0. Do you know that 0 degrees Celsius is 273 Kelvin? So 25 degrees Celsius is 298 Kelvin. Do you know that? How many degrees Celsius plus with 273 will equals to how many Kelvin? Alright, thank you. And the molar volume, the 22.4 tadi Haifa says, the 22.4 is actually the molar volume. Remember our balloon just now? So our balloon just now is in the room of 1 atm 25 degrees Celsius. Balloon yang sama, saya keluarkan daripada bilik tadi, balloon yang sama yang pegang 1 mole of any gas. Exactly the same balloon, tak ubah, dah ikat mati dah. The same balloon, I take it out from this room, I bring the balloon into a different room. And the different room, the second room right now having 1 atm and 0 degrees Celsius. Okay? Daripada 25 darjah Celsius turun kepada bilik yang hanya pegang 0 darjah Celsius. Lagi sejuk atau lagi panas? Syafiqah? Lagi sejuk atau lagi panas?
Lagi sejuk.
Jangan tutup mic. Lagi sejuk. Kalau adalah lagi sejuk, dalam keadaan sejuk, gas mengembang atau mengecut?
Mengecut.
Thank you. You know that when the things become colder, when the temperature drop, metal, logam, apa benda pun akan mengecut, betul? So, rasa-rasa balloon yang tadi dah kembang dah sampai 24 liter. Balloon yang sama kita bawa masuk bilik yang suhu dia turun 0 darjah Celsius sahaja. So, what happened to the balloon? Syafiqah?
Dia jadi lagi kecil.
Dia jadi lagi kecil. Balloon tu akan jadi lagi kecil. Dan balloon tu akan turun kepada saiz berapa?
22.4 liter.
22.4 liter. Sebab tu molar volume dia akan kecil untuk STP because in STP the temperature is lower. In RTP the balloon is higher, the molar volume is higher because the temperature is higher. Okay? And all three that I mentioned just now, they are fixed whenever is 1 mole. Kalau dia adalah 1 mole of oxygen gas, it will be 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 oxygen gas molecule. 1 mole of oxygen gas at RTP will be 24 liter. 1 mole of oxygen gas at STP will be 22.4 liter. And they are fixed. Okay? And they are fixed. Okay? They are fixed. But mass is the only thing that will change over here. Because molar mass will be depends on what are you measuring. Molar mass adalah seperti your atomic mass yang kita tengok dalam periodic table. Tapi beza dia adalah berat untuk 1 mole. So for example, if I have 1 mole of oxygen, that is 16 gram. If I have 1 mole of hydrogen, that is 1 gram. If I have 1 mole of nitrogen, that is 14 gram. Okay? And that's why the unit of molar mass will be in the unit of gram per mole. Kenapa dia adalah unit gram per mole? Because it's the mass compared to 1 mole. Sebab tu unit molar mass, nama pun molar mass, mole mass. 1 mole, how many gram? Therefore, unit dia adalah gram per mole. Dan yang boleh berubah hanya adalah mass kat sini bergantung pada apa soalan dia. Yang lain adalah constant. 1 mole of particles is the same. 1 mole of volume RTP is the same. Volume STP is the same. Okay? Alright? And we are going into, if that is okay, then we are going into ratio. Okay? What is actually mean by ratio? Before I go to mole ratio, what is actually ratio? Ratio adalah nisbah. And everybody tahu kalau A ratio to B is 1 to 2. Dia sebenarnya adalah pecahan A per B sama dengan 1 per 2. Setuju? Tapi 1, 2 senang lah. Kalau saya sekarang bagi tahu A kepada B, alright, saya ada 2X sama dengan 4. Dan saya nak cari X. So, macam mana saya nak cari X? Kita tahu 2X lebih kurang dengan 4. So, X akan jadi 4/2. Betul? Okay, yang ni pun settle. Pecahan je yang ni. Tak ada masuk ratio apa-apa lagi. Next, if I say 1 orange will give you 1 cup of juice. So right now, I have 5 orange. Zul, how many cup of juice?
5.
5. Yang ni senang lah. 1 buah dapat 1 gelas. So 5 buah dapat 5 gelas. Agree? But in life, things will never be that easy. Because to get 1 cup of juice, you might need 1.73 orange. To give you 1 cup of juice. So right now, I want to find 5 cup of juice. How many orange do I need? This will be the problem in your life. Soalan takkan bagi yang macam ni weh. But that in mind, kerja kita adalah untuk hidup kamu susah. So saya takkan bagi soalan yang kerja kamu senang. Question will always come up with this, that you cannot solve without thinking. So how to solve this mathematics? Senang je. Darab silang. If this unknown right now is a Y, katakan. Darab silang 1.73 darab 5. 173 times 5. Equals to 1 times Y. Therefore, Y equals to how much? Nampak? That is ratio. And what we are going to do is, we are going to bring this ratio. Ada orang pegang calculator ke? Lau? How many orange?
8.65.
Sorry?
8.65.
Okay, so you just times. Alright? Make sure calculator ada ya. Soalan extra akan ada sepanjang ni. So what are we going to do over here will be your mole ratio. Kita akan bawa semua benda ni, jadikan mole ratio. And when they're in the form of mole ratio, your life will be much easier. Nama pun mole ratio. Everybody should always start with 1 mole of anything equals to apa? You will always start with the theory. Always start with the 1 mole because our theory is 1 mole. We learn everything in the format of 1 mole. Sebab tu nama dia mole ratio. So let's say if I have mass, I'm talking about just everything about yang senang, hydrogen. Tak payah kira banyak-banyak. 1 mole of hydrogen gas. Okay? So first question, 1 mole of hydrogen gas, if I want it in the form of volume at STP. Volume STP. Fazini, how many liter?
Uh, 22.4.
22.4 je, tak ada unit.
Liter.
Thank you. Kalau 1 mole of hydrogen gas, tetapi saya nak dalam volume of RTP, Haifah?
24 liter.
24 liter. Aina, 1 mole of hydrogen gas in mass. Aina?
2 gram.
2 gram. Aina, why 2 gram?
Because hydrogen have two for gas. So times
Yes,
2.
because it's a gas. So 2 times 1. Thank you. Next. Go. 1 mole of hydrogen gas molecule.
6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 molecule.
20. Thank you. All right. Last. If I want hydrogen atom. Anybody?
204 times 10 to the power of 24.
Times 10 to the power of 24. Sekali lagi depan, Safan tak dengar.
1. If I'm not mistaken,
1.204.
204.
Kamu dapat macam mana tu?
Avogadro constant times by 2.
Safan akan dapat benda ni sebab 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 times 2. Okay? Question. Azri mengangguk. Yes. Kenapa times 2?
Sebab ada dua atom hidrogen.
Yes. Look at the question that I asked. Molecule means I will have hydrogen. Who is that? For God's sake. It's that one. Alright. Hydrogen gas molecule. When I use the word molecule, means we are talking about the whole thing of H2. When we are talking about hydrogen atom, means we are looking at how many hydrogen atom only. And we know that in 1 mole of hydrogen gas, 1 mole of hydrogen gas, there is actually 2 hydrogen atom. That's why kamu darab 2. Simple. And that is what we call mole ratio. You always start with the 1 mole. Always. Okay? Nama pun mole ratio. So in the comparison, one of the side. Nama pun mole ratio. In comparison, one of the side must be pegang mole. Kalau kamu tengok, saya akan sentiasa ada 1 mole of hydrogen gas, I compare with 22.4 liter. Kalau saya kata 1 mole of hydrogen gas adalah 2 gram, you realize salah satu side, one of the side, left or right, tak kisah, mesti ada perkataan mole. Sebab tu dia mole ratio. Kamu tak boleh compare liter with liter. Kamu tak boleh compare gram to liter. Betul? Because tengah-tengah mesti adalah number of mole. Make sense? Okay. That is the thing yang saya tak nak kamu buat salah. Benda senang. Saya tak nak kamu buat salah. Dan kat sini, sebelum kita mula, ada masalah darab silang? Saya rasa darab silang yang paling senang lah. Cara yang paling senang. Okay. Dan soalan ni. Over here. Kita akan round the whole class. Patricia. How do you start?
Ya.
How do you start?
Cari molar mass NH4 and O3.
Okay, Patricia started with molar mass of NH4 and O3. Read the question. Question asking for determine the number of N atom. Saya hanya nak number of N atom. Number of, in the other words, that is number of particles. Okay, in 0.28 gram of NH4NO3, ammonium nitrate. So the problem over here, saya nak number of particle, saya ada mass. Daripada mass, saya nak pergi kepada number of particle, apa yang saya kena cari dulu, Patricia? Hello.
Cari number of mole.
Cari number of mole. But molar mass dapat berapa? Baik. Molar mass dapat berapa? Dah kira ke? Baik. Natasha? Soal saya okey ke? Jelas? Natasha?
Ya.
Jawapan?
Untuk apa?
Molar mass.
80
80 je?
gram per mol.
80 gram per mol. Jawapan lain? Jawapan lain? Anybody?
80.0.
Iman, thank you. 80.0 gram per mol. Mesti kena ambil one decimal place, unit gram per mol wajib sebab yang kamu tengah kira sekarang adalah molar mass. Check your answer. Next. Why we are calculating the molar mass? Because to change, we are looking for the number of mole, as Bart said. So from the mass to change to number of mole, the conversion over here adalah molar mass. So kamu kena cari satu-satu lah. Break down your question. Break down your question. Saya ada mass, saya nak cari number of particles, saya kena dapat number of mole. Dari mass nak cari number of mole, saya nak molar mass. So you get the molar mass right now. Start with your mole ratio right now. 1 mole of NH4NO3. If you look at my habit, my left is always 1 mole. I always start with 1 mole rather than the mass because that is my theory. And we are comparing with the molar mass. So 1 mole will give you 80.0 gram. And over here, if you look at it the way that I write, saya hanya akan letak gram, saya tak akan letak gram per mole. Sebab apa? Sebab mole dah duduk kat sebelah kiri. Nampak tak? Bila comparison, kita tak payah letak gram per mole. Sebab mole dah duduk kat sini. See that? Okay. Next. The problem over here is, kalau 80 gram, saya dapat 1 mole. Sekarang saya tak ada 80 gram. So, how much do I have? Is 0.28 gram. That is how much I have. And obviously, I'm looking for the number of mole. And normally, we will put unknown so that it's easier for you to calculate. X mole of NH4NO3 is how much? And darab silang. Darab silang. Okay. You will then get 1 times 0.28. So you have 0.28 equals to 80 times X. And your X calculated akan jadi 0.28 over 80. And that, Natasha, jawapan?
3.5 times 10 power of negative 3.
3.5 je, tak ada titik perpuluhan apa-apa. Okay? 3.5 times 10 to the power of negative 3. Kalau ada titik perpuluhan, kita akan ambil up to 4 decimal places. And for all the small answer, alright, untuk jawapan yang ada 0.0000 kat belakang tu, semua kena guna scientific notation. Mesti kena tulis dalam bentuk 10 darab berapa. Semua kena guna scientific notation. Okay? So right now, this, your X is actually mole of NH4NO3. Jangan tinggal jawapan tak ada apa. Kena label jawapan, you will come across question. Satu soalan yang kena kira mungkin 3 number of mole untuk benda yang berasingan. So you must mention this is number of mole of siapa. Jangan tinggal jawapan tu tak ada kepala saya panggil. Cara yang senang nak tulis adalah guna simbol. Do you know the symbol of number of mole? Symbol of number of mole is N, for God's sake. Simbol number of mole untuk N, cara nak tulis senang. Paling senang yang saya boleh ajar. NH4NO3. That is the symbol of number of mole. Okay? Ni cara paling senang. Tak payah tulis ayat panjang-panjang. Make sure you label every value. And then you get the number of mole already. We are already here. We get the molar mass. We get the number of mole. So right now, I have number of mole. I want to go to number of particles. Okay? In this conversion, what do we use? Nuri? Nuri? Number of mole nak tukar kepada number of particles ataupun antara number of mole dengan particles. Siapa conversion diorang? Takkan ubah benda ni, fix.
Number of mole.
Number of mole. Alright, number of mole yang kamu ada sekarang, saya nak tukar kepada number of atom.
Saya cari number of mole nitrogen.
Kenapa nak cari number of mole nitrogen? Kenapa nak cari number of mole nitrogen?
Sebab nak cari number of particle.
Sebab soalan minta number of mole, sebab soalan minta number of particles of nitrogen. So the number of mole that you have over here is ammonium nitrate. Okay? Number of mole ni adalah untuk semua NH4NO3. Soalan sebenarnya hanya minta untuk nitrogen atom. Walaupun daripada number of mole nak tukar number of particles, kita akan guna Avogadro constant sahaja. Tapi number of mole yang saya ada ni bukan number of mole yang saya nak. Betul? Saya kena cari number of mole nitrogen. So, how do we find the number of mole of nitrogen? Kita compare the number of mole, 1 mole of ammonium nitrate. Dalam ni ada berapa mole nitrogen? Nurin?
3.5 darab 10 negatif 3.
1 mole ada berapa nitrogen?
Ada 2.
2 mole of nitrogen. Okay? Lagi tepat 2 mole of nitrogen atom. So kalau sekarang saya ada 1 mole bersamaan dengan 2 mole and right now I have 3.5 only. I have 3.5 times 10 to the power of negative 3 mole of your ammonium nitrate only. Okay, tak ada 1 pun. So your unknown over here will be your Y mole of N atom. Sekali lagi kita akan darab silang. Okay, sekali lagi kita akan darab silang. So you have 1 times Y. Y dapat terus. Equals to 2 times 3.5 times 10 to the power of negative 3. And Nurin kata berapa tadi?
Tujuh darab 10 negatif 3.
Bukan dah buat kau?
Saya salah soalan ni.
Oh, soalan 1. You need to calculate the number of mole of Y. Macam saya cakap, nampak tak? We have 2 number of mole. So you need to label this number of mole. Label number of mole hydrogen atom. Okay? Label. Mesti kena label. When I mark your works last week, okay, when I mark your work last week, I realised that masalah antara yang paling besar adalah kamu tak suka label jawapan kamu. So at the end of the day, saya tak tahu apa yang kamu kira, kamu pun tak tahu apa yang kamu kira. So every value that you calculate, make sure you have what are you calculating. So sekarang soalan minta number of mole of nitrogen atom, saya dah ada. Soalan minta number of nitrogen atom, saya dah ada number of mole dia. Novash, next step.
N times with Avogadro, Na.
N times Avogadro.
Yes. N of H atom times with Avogadro constant.
That is how you do.
Yes.
Redo everything because I want everything in mole ratio.
1 mole of N.
1 mole of N.
N at H atom. H. One of my H.
Sorry, N atom. N atom.
No, this
N
is
atom.
oh, N, yes. Equals to 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23.
1 mole of N atom equals to 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 N atom. Nitrogen atom. And right now kita tak ada 1 mole, kita hanya ada 7 darab 10 kuasa negatif 3 mole of nitrogen atom sahaja. So that will equals to your Z N atom. Unknown kamu berapa? Okay? And your unknown calculated? No wish? Kira tak? Kenapa bila saya tanya jawapan semua orang kena ambil masa?
It's a 4.214 times 10 to the power of 21.
Buat tak soalan ni?
Saya salah cikgu soalan ni.
Calculated 4 point something times 10 to the power of
21.
21 kalau tak silap saya.
Yes.
Nitrogen atoms. Avogadro constant ada unit. Alright, yang di mana unit dia kita bukan guna unit biasa, kita akan tulis what are we calculating. Nitrogen atom, molecule, ion or whatsoever yang kita akan kira. Okay. Question? Question? No? Anybody that are not using this method, please redo everything. Because I want everything in mole ratio. Masuk topik 1.3, this mole ratio will give you 1 mark. Saya tahu, teacher, saya buat cara SPM pun dapat markah. Dapat, jawapan akhir je lah. Saya nak semua orang buat dalam mole ratio. Is that clear? Okay. Next. Calculate the mass of chlorine in 100 centimeter cube of CH3 at SDP. Question stated very clearly over here right now is a SDP. So I'm having an SDP right now, which is a standard temperature and pressure. We talk about that. Question asking for the mass of chlorine. We are looking for the mass of chlorine. Okay. So to find the mass of chlorine, we need to find the number of mole of chlorine. To have the number of mole of chlorine, kamu kena ada number of mole of CHCl3. Kenapa? Sebab soalan bagi dalam CHCl3. Betul? Soalan tak bagi dalam chlorine. Saya nak chlorine. Tapi soalan mula dengan CHCl3. So always start with, I love to start with what I want. Saya jarang nak start dengan apa yang saya ada. Saya suka start dengan apa yang saya nak. Because at the end of the day, this is my answer. So I will be thinking from what I want. Mass of chlorine yang saya nak. So nak cari mass of chlorine, saya kena ada number of mole. Nak dapat number of mole dia, saya kena dapat number of mole apa yang saya ada dulu. So daripada number of mole ni nak datang dari mana? Number of mole ni datang daripada volume. Because yang saya ada sekarang adalah volume. 100 centimeter cube of CHCl3 at SDP. That is the flow of your answer. That should be the flow of your answer. Therefore, starting from the volume at SDP, we know that 100 centimeter cube is actually equals to how many liter? first question?
0.1.
0.1. I hope you can do the conversion over here a little bit. I hope you know that 1 centimeter cube is equals to 1 milliliter. Okay, they are the same. 1 decimeter cube is equals to 1 liter. And the conversion between them is 1000. Okay, I hope you know that. So, first, kenapa nak tukar kepada kenapa nak tukar kepada liter? Senang. Sebab when I compare 1 mole of CHCl3, 1 mole of CH3 at STP, I love to put down the bracket and stated clearly whether it's a STP or RTP. Sebab bila volume, dia ada dua condition. So, bila ada dua condition, kamu kena tulis untuk ingat. So, saya akan suka tulis macam ni. 1 mole of CHCl3 at STP will give rise to how many liter? Sure ada?
$22.4.
22.4 liter because it's STP. And the problem arise over here, saya tak ada pun 1 mole, saya tak ada pun 22.4 liter sebab yang saya ada hanya 0.1. That is the reason why you need to change the 100 centimeter cube to liter. Okay, the trick of the question. Kalau kamu ambil terus 100, kamu dah salah. So right now, 0.1 liter is equals to how many mole of CHCl3? Okay. Sama, darab silang guys. Masih cerita yang sama, masih the same old story of darab silang. So bila kamu darab silang, kamu akan dapat 0.1 liter is equals to, let's say I put this as a X, equals to X times 22.4 liter. So your X, okay, will equals to, Haifa? No, where's your mic?
4.42 times 10.3.
4.4?
643
43 times 10 to the power of
-3.
-3 mole. And your X over here is actually equals to number of mole of CHCl3. Tu cara yang paling senang nak label number of mole. Okay? So, daripada volume, saya dah jumpa number of mole CHCl3. So, daripada number of mole CHCl3 nak cari apa? Number of mole Cl. So, quite simple and straightforward over there. Compare je lah. 1 mole of CHCl3 will give rise to how many mole of chlorine? Anas?
Sorry, madam.
1 mole of CHCl3 will give rise to how many mole of chlorine?
Three.
Wow, you spent like how many seconds for that? Did you answer this question?
I buat salah.
Ada soalan yang kamu buat betul ke? Yang saya boleh tunjuk. Dia tengok video ke?
Tengok.
Lepas tu tak lewat. Kamu buat macam mana? Anas kata buat salah. Anas buat macam mana? Anas salah kat mana? What is your first step?
Saya tak buat kat yang tu 100 cm tukar kepada 0.1 N.
Show your paper to your camera.
How?
Just stick up your paper and show it to the camera. I say now.
Set.
I say now, stop writing anything. Pull the camera, I don't want to see you. I want to see the paper. Where's your question number 3? Soalan 3 mana sekarang? Buat tak?
Tak buat lagi.
Continue cheating. You all memang ingat saya first year mengajar ke? Hah? Zul, kamu tak briefing kawan-kawan kamu? Perangai saya macam mana? Ha Zul? Zul buat tak?
Buat.
Anas, out of my class now. Quit. Malas sangat nak masuk kelas kan? Bye. Siapa lagi yang tak buat, keluar sekarang. If you're not ready for my class, you don't deserve to be in my class. Out. Since you don't bother to learn, why you come in? One mole of CHCl3. Tak boleh buat, fine. Salah, tak apa. But you can't even answer the simple question. 1 mole CHCl3 ada berapa mole, and your friend take like few seconds to give me the answer. So right now, as always, we don't have the 1 mole. Alright, what we have is actually the number of mole that you calculated just now. The number of mole of CHCl3. This is the number of mole that you and your friend calculated should have. So we have 4.4643 times 10 to the power of -3 mole of CHCl3. And over here, we are looking for the mole of chlorine because the question asking only about chlorine. So kita nak cari mole of chlorine ni berapa. Case yang sama, masih balik kepada darab silang yang kamu konon rasa pandai dan tak nak buat kerja saya. So your number of mole of chlorine calculated bila kamu darab silang adalah 3 darab dengan 4.4643 darab 10 kuasa -3, just times the value. You will get the number of mole of chlorine in mole. Zul, jawapan?
(1.338) times 10 power of -2.
Thank you. So kamu akan dapat number of mole of chlorine over here, and we are here already. We done this. We done this. And we are at the last step to find the mass of chlorine at this moment. So to find the mass of chlorine, and we know that the conversion over here daripada number of mole nak cari mass adalah guna molar mass. Betul? Okay? Adalah guna molar mass. So 1 mole of chlorine atom. Dalam keadaan atom dalam keadaan atom. Macam mana teacher tahu dia atom? Sebab saya hanya nak chlorine. Saya nak sebiji tu. So dia dalam keadaan atom. And the mass of 1 chlorine atom. Ada manusia yang rasa dia dah jawab dan yang ni dia ada jawapan betul?
35.5
Thank you.
gram.
35.5. Thank you, Sharifah. Gram. Because we are taking 1 decimal place in our syllabus. Jangan ambil 36. Mesti adalah 35.5. And right now we are looking for the mass. So the unknown over here is how many gram when I have 1.338 times 10 to the power of -2 mole of chlorine atom. Esok tak cuti. Saya takkan buat kelas, tapi esok 1 jam tu saya nak buat quiz. Ada masalah? Because of your very poor performance today. And you will have the mass of chlorine atom. And the mass of chlorine atom over here must be in the unit of gram. Cara masih sama, kita masih hanya perlu darab silang. Dan by using this method, kita dah buat 2 soalan. By using this method, I hope you realize that kamu tak ada isu nak hafal bila masa nak darab atau bahagi. I don't know for you is easier or not, but for me this is like a lot easier. Saya paling menyampan hafal-hafal. Kamu hanya perlu tahu satu benda when you are doing this. Kita compare yang ni dengan apa? 1 mol apa? 1 mol apa? 1 mol apa? Dan nak tahu kita nak compare 1 mol tu kepada apa, sangat senang. Baca soalan. Saya ada apa? Saya ada volume tukar kepada number of mol. So volume saya kat STP. So yang saya compare kat sini mesti adalah molar volume. So 1 mol saya mesti compare dengan molar volume. See that? Saya ada number of mol. Saya nak cari mass. So saya mesti compare dengan molar mass. So 1 mol compare dengan molar mass. Tak perlu hafal apa. Kamu perlu hafal 4 benda ni sahaja. Kamu hanya perlu tahu, bukan hafal. I wouldn't use the word hafal sebab 4 benda ni tak payah hafal. Kamu hanya perlu ingat 1 mol sama dengan berapa particles? 6.02 darab 10 kuasa 23. 1 mol sama dengan berapa volume at RTP? 1 mol sama dengan berapa volume at STP? That's it. And then kita buat ratio. Dan dalam keadaan ni, kamu takkan ada isu, sayang. Kamu takkan ada isu di mana kamu lupa nak darab atau bahagi. Yang saya tak suka. Okay? Alright? Happier with this method? Dan Zul kata soalan 4, tapi saya nak bincang semua kot Zul. Dengan keadaan kawan kamu macam ni. Ya. Fatin?
Kalau nombor 2 tu kan, kalau saya buat 4.46 je, 12.15.
Tak.
Tak boleh.
No. Saya nak 4 titik perpuluhan sehingga jawapan akhir. No argument on decimal places. Dan sebelum saya lupa, saya ingatkanlah banyak kali saya dah ingatkan. Kalau nombor kecil, make sure guna scientific notation. Alright, jangan guna titik perpuluhan. Kalau nombor kecil, kalau ada 0.00 tu, ada benda keadaan macam ni, guna scientific notation terus. Okay, tukar dengan calculator, jadikan dia exponent terus. Alright, make sure. Fatin kot tadi tanya. Fatin kata kalau 4.46 sahaja, Fatin dapat jawapan berapa?
13.38 mol. Oh, jawapan akhir ke?
Jawapan akhir.
1424.97 gram.
Berapa?
1424.97 gram.
Darab 35.5. You all dapat apa yang lain?
Ya.
Others?
Oh, 35.5 tu saya darab dengan 3.
Kenapa nak darab dengan 3?
Sebab chlorine ada 3.
Tapi kamu dah cari kat sini sayang. Alright, apa yang Fatin buat adalah Fatin darab 3 lagi kat sini. Alright, kelas tengok. Perlu tak darab lagi 3 ni? Alright, tak payah dah. Kamu tak perlu darab lagi 3 kat sini. Kenapa tak perlu lagi darab 3 kat sini? Sebab number of mole yang kamu cari ni, number of mole chlorine sayang. Fatin, number of mole chlorine yang kamu cari ni, kamu dah memang cari untuk 3-3. Ni adalah jumlah number of mole chlorine dalam soalan kamu. Nampak?
Nampak.
Faham ke?
Faham.
Good.
Tapi saya ada confused lah.
Jangan fikir banyak sangat. Jangan fikir mau apa-apa sangat. Okay?
Okay, thank you Miss.
Mass, Soalan 3. Lagi ada soalan sebelum saya move on soalan 3? Fazli ni, soalan 3 dapat jawapan apa?
Saya dapat 18.0 gram.
18.0 gram. Orang lain? Jawapan lain? Aiman?
Saya dapat 18.0 gram juga.
Ada orang dapat jawapan lain selain 18.0 gram?
2.99 times 10 to the power negative 33.
How do you get that?
Sama.
Boleh explain sikit?
1 mole of H2O is equal to 18 gram. Then I ratio 1 mole of H2O 1 mole of H2O is equal to 6.02 times 10 to negative times 10 to the power of 23. Then I ratio 0.02 times 10 to the power of 23 H2O with 18 gram.
Okay, betul. Tapi I can explain better a bit over here. So, 18.0 gram memang tak lah. Saya tak adalah nak bagi soalan yang apa dapat 18 gram per mole tu sayang weh. Okay, baca soalan. Confusion saya rasa adalah pada soalan. Read the question again. The question stated, mass of one water molecule. One H2O molecule. 18.0 gram yang kamu kata tu adalah 1 H2O atau 1 mole H2O, Aiman?
Satu mol H2O.
Yang kamu kata 18 gram tadi, yang majoriti orang kata tak ada jawapan lain, dapat 18 gram. 18 gram adalah berat untuk 1 mole H2O, and read my question carefully again. We are looking for the mass of one water molecule. So how many we want? 1. Okay? We only want one water molecule. So, what are we going to look at is this. 1 mole of H2O equals to 18 gram. Yes, 1 mole. Tapi sekarang saya bukan nak 1 mole, saya nak 1 je. So, kita balik kepada 1 mole of H2O is equals to 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 H2O molecule. So, how many mole is there when I am only needing 1 H2O molecule? It's going to be a super small value. Okay. 1 mole dapat 6.02 darab 10 kuasa 23 biji. Ni kalau guna biji dia nampak sikit lah. Betul? Saya nak 1 mole, saya ada 6.02 darab 10 kuasa 23 biji. Tapi soalan sekarang minta 1 biji je sayang. So 1 biji bersamaan dengan berapa mole of water? Sama darab silang anda, masih kekal dengan darab silang anda. So kamu akan dapat, letak X lah. Kamu akan dapat 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23x equals to 1 times 1 times 1. So 1 H2O molecule. Okay. So nak dapat X, X akan bersamaan dengan 1 per 6.02 darab 10 kuasa 23. So X, which is the number of mole of H2O, X adalah number of mole of H2O kat sini, nampak? So number of mole H2O, 1 biji. sama dengan berapa? Adriana?
So, 1.66
4 titik perpuluhan.
11
Lagi?
mol.
Lagi?
Titik perpuluhan kau.
Tu je jawapan kamu. Mo. Habis. Weh, hang erti ke nak baca kalkulator?
Oh, okey. Darab 10 kuasa 22.
10 kuasa 22. Hang tekan kalkulator macam mana weh?
Dia tak buat kurungan Miss. Saya rasa dia tak buat kurungan.
Dia tak buat kurungan sebab dia tak guna eksponen. Weh. Ni letak kurungan bila tekan kalkulator. Adriana, tekan sekali lagi.
Okey. 1.6611 darab 10 kuasa negatif 24.
Thank you. So this is the number of mole when you only have 1 biji. And sekarang saya nak berat untuk 1 biji ni. Alright, saya nak berat untuk 1 biji ni. So masuklah kat sini. Saya tahu 1 mole sama dengan 18 gram. Tapi sekarang saya hanya ada 1.6611 darab 10 kuasa 24 mole. Sikit, sangat sikit, mestilah sikit sebab saya nak satu biji je. See the difference? I think the biggest problem adalah kamu tak baca soalan saya dengan betul. Soalan bukan nak 1 mole. Soalan nak 1 biji. 18 gram yang kamu kira tu adalah untuk 1 mole. Soalan hanya nak 1 water molecule. 1 only. Okay? Lagi? Dah. No rush? How do you find this question? What is your final answer for this question?
(1.5947 times 10 to the power of negative 6 liter).
Kelas 7? Dapat? Kalau semua dapat, saya tak nak bincang dah. Ada yang saya perlu bincang? Semua dapat? Okay, kalau mengangguk, saya move on. Senang soalan ni. Cuma hati-hatilah sama ada, bila soalan volume, okay, cerita sikit tadi. Bila dia soalan volume, okay, soalan mesti akan bagi tahu sama ada dia room temperature atau standard temperature pressure. Dia mesti akan bagi tahu. Weh, masuk exam bukan main teka-teki weh. Takkan ada soalan yang di mana kamu kena teka. Tak ada. Alright, bila masa soalan cerita pasal volume, soalan mesti akan bagi tahu dia room temperature ataupun standard temperature pressure. Sama ada dalam bentuk ayat ataupun sama ada dalam bentuk data of 25 degrees Celsius 1 atm. Cari. Whenever it's volume, you need to know right now I am at STP or RTP. Mesti kena cari sampai jumpa. Dia mesti akan bagi tahu dalam soalan. Okay, I can guarantee that. Alright. Next. Question number 5. Saya rasa Zul so bincang soalan ni tadi. Betul Zul? Okay, let's see. Go. Final answer for A.
14.4 gram.
14.4 gram. Go dapat. We are going to see whether dia betul atau tak. Alright, go B.
1.4976 gram.
1.4976 gram. Let's see. Okay, saya tak cakap betul atau salah lagi ya. Kita akan check jawapan Go. So, sebab Zul so bincang dan ada 2-3 orang tadi mengangguk ya kita nak bincang soalan ni. So, let's see. Calculate the mass of NH4-2CO3 that contains 0.3 mole of NH4. So, saya mula dengan soalan A dulu. Okay, saya nak cari mass of NH4-2CO3. So to get this mass, I obviously need to find the number of mole ataupun we need to find the N. Simple je, malas nak tulis banyak. We need to find the number of mole of your ammonium carbonate. Betul? Setuju? Nak cari mass kena ada number of mole lah. Saya nak cari number of mole dia dari mana? Saya akan dapat number of mole dia daripada soalan saya. 0.3 mole of ammonium ion. Okay. So, dari sini kita akan start jawab. Kita akan settlekan yang ni dulu. Nak cari yang ni dulu. Yang ni dah diberi. So, I want to find this. Okay. 1 mole of your ammonium carbonate NH4-2CO3. Theoretically, 1 mole of this will give how many mole of NH4 plus ion? Tengok. NH4 bracket 2CO3. So, saya akan hasilkan NH4 plus. Saya akan hasilkan CO3 2 minus. Bawa naik. Betul. So, daripada soalan NH4 2, CO3 2 minus. CO3 akan ada 1, NH4 akan ada 2. Setuju setakat ni? Okay, yes. So, 1 mole of your ammonium carbonate will give rise of 2 mole of ammonium ion. Yang tu teori. Next, saya tak ada 2 mole pun. Yang kita ada dalam poket, yang soalan bagi hanya 0.3 mole of ammonium ion. Dari sini, boleh dapat number of mole ammonium carbonate? Okay. Sharifah, ya, mengangguk, semua mengangguk. So, you will get the number of mole of your ammonium carbonate over here. Balik kepada cerita darab silang tadilah. Okay. Settlekan darab silang kamu, kamu akan dapat number of mole of your ammonium carbonate. Yang tak dapat, sila kira sekarang. Daniel? Daniel, webcam and answer. Daniel? Baru nak kira. Baru bersandar nak pegang kalkulator. Daniel buat tak kerja saya? Daniel, are you listening?
Yes, ma'am. Madam?
Answer.
Nombor 5 buat.
Nombor 6 buat ke?
Buat.
Tunjuk. On your webcam. Boleh tak tutup background kamu tu? Tujuh. Soalan 7.
Tak tahu.
Berapa yang hang buat? Kira lah sekarang tak buat.
Sampai 6.
0 point?
0.15.
0.15 mole of your ammonium carbonate. Dah dapat number of mole. Settle. We reach here already. Soalan minta mass. So before mass, we know that we need to find the molar mass. Ada masalah nak kira molar mass? Tak ada? Aina kata tak ada, Haifa kata tak ada. Jawapan Haifa? Haifa kata 92. Betul? 96.0 gram per mole. Semua setuju? Okay. Bear that in mind, make sure dia adalah satu titik perpuluhan sebelum saya terlupa. Dua ni mesti darab ke dalam dua-dua. So nitrogen yang kita ada sekarang adalah 2 darab 14.0 tambah dengan hidrogen adalah 8 darab 1.0 tambah dengan carbon 12.0 tambah dengan oxygen 16 times 3. Okay, so Haifa say 96.0 gram per mole, that is the molar mass. Question asking for mass, so simple, change it to the mass. Compare it to the mass. 1 mole of your ammonium carbonate, H4T03, will give rise to 96 gram. Okay, or more detailed, 96.0 gram. And the problems over here, macam biasa kita tak ada 1 mole. We only have 0.15 mole of your ammonium carbonate. And in this 0.15 mole equals to how many gram? Alright, Lau?
14.4 gram.
Alright, Lau answer same with Go, so you have 14.4 gram. Setuju kelas? Baras. Zul boleh? Yang lain? Okay. So, B pula. B pula. So the problem in B right now is the question did not give you in the form of mole tapi soalan bagi dalam bentuk atom. Okay. Sama soalan masih nak mass untuk your ammonium carbonate. Soalan masih nak mass. Bermakna mass ni kita masih perlu cari number of mole, alright? Number of mole of your ammonium carbonate. Tapi number of mole of this ammonium carbonate bukan daripada 0.3 mole dah. Benda ni kena datang daripada 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 hydrogen atom. Okay? Alright. So that is the problem because it's a AB. It's a different question. So 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 hydrogen atom sebenarnya bersamaan dengan berapa mole? Saya nak tukar yang ni, sebelum saya cari, saya nak tukar yang ni kepada berapa mole of hydrogen atom. Okay? Simple way sebab value dia senang. 1 mole of hydrogen atom, we know that. Standard adalah 6.02 darab 10 kuasa 23 atom. Nampak tak? Terus. Okay? Kenapa saya kata soalan senang? Sebab value yang dia bagi 6.02 darab 10 kuasa 23. Kenapa nak tukar number of mole? Sebab saya nak cari number of mole dia. Alright, tapi saya duduk dalam keadaan number of particles. Saya tak nak number of particles. So, saya cari number of mole. 1 mole of hydrogen atom equals to 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 hydrogen atom. So, ni sebenarnya bersamaan dengan 1 mole hydrogen atom. Tak perlu buat apa dah weh. Sebab memang nampak gila terpampang dah. 6.02, 1 mole. So, in the other words, guys, this thing is equals to 1 mole of hydrogen. Betul? Tapi yang saya nak adalah dalam ammonium carbonate. So, balik kepada teori. 1 mole of ammonium carbonate, dalam ni sayang, ada berapa mole of hydrogen theoretically? Dalam ni theoretically ada berapa mole of hydrogen? Daniel tadi?
Sorry, madam.
1 mole of ammonium carbonate is how many mole of hydrogen atom?
One.
Anis? Anis Izzati.
8 times 6.2 multiplied by 10 the power of 23.
Susahnya jawapan apa? 1 mole bacik ni, hang tengok je weh. 1 mole NH4 2CO3. Ada jumlah, ada berapa hidrogen?
8.
Habis lah. Kan? Teori. 1 mole ammonium carbonate ada berapa mole hidrogen? Ada 8. Okay, kalau nak hasilkan 1 mole bacik ni, saya perlu 8 mole hidrogen. Tapi dalam poket kita tak ada 8 mole. Dalam poket kita, soalan hanya bagi 1 mole. Soalan hanya bagi 1 mole. We only have 1 mole. So if I have only 1 mole of hydrogen atom, how many mole of NH4 ammonium carbonate that we actually having? Okay. Find the number of mole over here. Haikal? Azul?
1.2 mol.
1.2 mole. Setuju yang lain? Ada masalah nak selesaikan darat silang ke? Tak ada, beres. 1.2 mole. Sekarang dah ada number mole. Perlu tak kira molar mass sekali lagi? Tak perlu dah. Guna je apa yang kamu dah kira tadi. Sekarang dah dapat number of mole. Soalan minta mass. Compare dengan molar mass. Macam biasa. So kalau 1 mole of ammonium carbonate that we have calculated just now is equals to 96 gram. And right now you have 1.2 mole of your ammonium nitrate. Okay. Ammonium carbonate equals to how many gram?
Miss.
Ya?
Yang number of mole tu saya dapat 0.125.
Zul, hang kelentong aku apa? Oi, 0.125 lah. Hang kira macam mana? Aku pun percaya bulat-bulat. Cheese betul. Darat silang 1 darab 1 dapat 1, 8 darab X. So 8X 1 per 8, 0.125 mol. Cheese. Apa hang ni? Dan? Answer?
12.0 gram.
Check your answer, Go. Go, is your answer correct? Nope. Check your answer. Mass of ammonium carbonate. mass of ammonium carbonate in this part calculated is 12.0 gram. Thank you. We have done 5 questions. Getting better or getting worse? Okay, we have half an hour more to go. Soalan 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Soalan mana nak bincang? Yang tak boleh sangat-sangat.
Sebelas meter.
11, 6C saya dengar. Cuba 6C. Sebelum saya cuba 6C. 6A. Syuhadah. 6A jawapan.
1.27 darab 10 kuasa 3. Mol.
No. Nurin?
2.5 mol.
2.5 je.
Mol.
Mol. Balkis?
Yes.
Nurul Balkis? Nurul Balkis? Diana? Ya, siapa?
H3 kan?
Times 10 to the power of negative 3. Mic problem. Tiny lah apa nak mic problem. Number of molecule of carbon dioxide. Aiman Saad.
Yes, madam.
Jawapan akhir.
Jawapan akhir. 1.505 times is 10 power of 24.
24.
21.
21 ke 24?
21.
24 jawapan kat mana?
Oh, tadi silap.
Mass of carbon atom, Haifa? Okay. Soalan yang tadi tanya C Yang tanya tadi. Soalan C ke? Yes, let's see. A sample of carbon dioxide gas has a volume of 56 cm cube at STP. So yang soalan bagi sekarang adalah volume at STP, which is 56 cm cube of CO2. So first thing, change the 56 cm cube to liter. 56 nak tukar kepada liter bermakna kita akan bahagi 1000. Alright? Divide 1000. So bila kamu bahagi 1000, kamu akan dapat 5.6 darab 10 kuasa negatif 2 kalau tak silap saya. Betul? Okay? Liter of CO2. That is the volume yang kamu ada. Next, soalan minta, we are looking for question C right now. Mass of carbon atom. Soalan minta berat tapi dia hanya nak berat carbon atom. Dia tak nak berat semua. Okay? So what do? Is we need to change this number of mole that I believe you have calculated just now. The number of mole of carbon dioxide molecule. Kamu dah kira kat atas. So number of mole, dalam soalan A dah jumpa, number of mole adalah 2.5 darab 10 kuasa negatif 3. Sebab tu saya tanya jawapan. Dah ada dah. Dah kira. Bukan dah ada, dah kira. Next, soalan minta mass of carbon. So nak cari mass of carbon, kamu kena dapat number of mole of carbon sahaja. Nak dapat berat carbon, kena dapat number of mole carbon lah. Nak dapat number of mole carbon macam mana? Senang. 1 mole carbon dioxide. Guys, 1 mole carbon dioxide guna berapa biji carbon? Senang je. 1 mole of carbon guna 1 mole of carbon dioxide guna 1 mole of carbon. Satu kat sini. And it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Number of mole carbon dioxide that you have in the question. 56 cm3 bersamaan dengan 2.5 darab 10 kuasa negatif 3 mole of carbon dioxide. 1-to-1 ratio. Kena tekan kalkulator? Tak payah. Dapat terus number of mole carbon adalah 2.5 darab 10 kuasa negatif 3 mole of carbon. Settle dapat number of mole. Soalan minta berat. Bila soalan minta berat, kita sentiasa compare dengan molar mass. 1 mole of carbon equals to how many gram, Haifah? One mole of carbon berapa gram pun tak tahu. Ni stop bernafas, stop makan, stop pakai baju. Semua tu ada carbon. Izzati?
12.0 gram.
1 mole of carbon. Tak dengar? 1 carbon, 1 mole.
12.0 gram.
1.0 gram? Carbon weh. Jangan buat aku takut.
12.
12. Alright. 1 mole of carbon atom adalah 12 gram. Saya nak berat dia berapa? When I have 2.5 times 10 to the power of negative 3 mole of carbon atom. So, equals to how many gram? Darab silang sekali lagi. Zul. Kira balik. Dapat apa?
0.003 gram.
Betul dah darab. Wait. Kalau kamu pandai, kalau kamu rasa kamu sangat confident, kamu boleh kira terus. Okay, kamu tengok makin lama saya dah tak tulis darab tu. Saya kira terus. Tapi kalau hang tahu hang tak boleh kira terus, hang letaklah 1 darab unknown. Unknown gram sama dengan 12 darab 2.5 apa, susah sangat nak tulis. Tak payah imagine. Jangan salah. Jangan salah sebab malas. Ya, jawapan dia 0.03 gram. Okay. D. Sambung terus dengan soalan D sebab saya dah ada number of mole dia. Soalan D beza dengan soalan C adalah dia minta atom. Alright, oxygen atom. Tu beza dia. Tadi dia minta carbon. So sama je. Kalau tadi saya nak carbon atom, saya kena cari number of mole carbon. So sekarang kalau saya nak oxygen atom, saya kena cari number of mole oxygen. Nampak? Okay. So, saya nak cari number of mole of oxygen atom. Exactly the same method. Exactly the same method. 1 mole carbon dioxide. How many mole of oxygen atom? Azri?
Five 0.005.
Teori dulu. 1 mole of CO2 equals to how many mole of oxygen?
How many more oxygen? 2
mole.
Oxygen.
Sebab?
Sebab ada dua atom.
Sebab ada 2 O2. Betul. Tapi kita tak ada 1 mole. Kita hanya ada 2.5 darab 10 kuasa negatif 3. 2.5 darab 10 kuasa negatif 3 mole of CO2. Ni baru jawapan kamu tadi. Azri berapa?
0.005.
Saya nak dalam scientific notation.
5 darab dengan 10 kuasa negatif 3.
Mole of oxygen atom. 7 kelas? And Lau. Question asking for number of oxygen atoms. So what is our conversion? We are comparing it with
The number of CO2.
Sorry, we are comparing it to
Number of mole of atom.
So 1 mole of your oxygen atom, we are comparing it to if the question asking for mole, sorry, if the question asking for number of oxygen atom.
That's my
So
Avogadro constant.
you have the number of mole already. So how can I change the number of mole to number of oxygen atom?
Times
Avogadro.
6.
Avogadro constant. Thank you. Betul kelas? Nampak dah ke flow dia sekarang? So kalau nak mass, kita compare dengan molar, mass. Soalan nak number of particles, soalan nak number of oxygen atom, kita compare dengan Avogadro constant. Soalan nak volume, kita compare dengan volume. So right now, I don't have 1 mole. As always, kita mana pernah dapat 1 mole punya soalan. So sekarang saya tak ada 1 mole, saya ada 5 darab 10 kuasa negatif 3 mole of oxygen atom. And kat sini akan hasilkan berapa oxygen atom. Okay. Lau? Answer?
(3.01 times 10 to the power of 21).
3 times 10 to the power of 21 oxygen atom. Inilah unit kamu. Okay, unit tu sebenarnya adalah berdasarkan apa yang soalan tanya lah. Okay. Dan soalan 11 kawan kamu kata. Okay. Senang. Soalan A saya malah nak kira dah. Saya nak jawapan molar mass, please. Anybody?
324.
3?
24
Je.
gram per mole.
324 gram per mole je.
324.0 gram per mole.
Thank you. Alright. Hampa lain kali bagi jawapan first tu terus betul boleh? Jahat gila saya. Yang tu soalan senang. Number of mole pun nak tunjuk boleh lah. Kita tunjuk sikit. Saya tak tahu kenapa semua jadi soalan A, yang ni B, yang ni C, yang ni D, yang ni E. Sampai soalan E ya. Betul lah tu. Okay. B kita tunjuk sikit lah. So right now I only have 2.5 gram. Question asking for number of mole. So the trick over here adalah soalan bagi dalam mass, soalan tanya mole. We have molar mass as the first question. So 1 mole of quinine C20 H24 N2O2 is 324.0 gram. Tak ada pun banyak tu. Dalam makmal, lab assistant bagi 2.5 gram je. Sama dengan berapa mole of quinine. Tu soalan dia. So kamu akan dapat number of mole quinine calculated, N of quinine. Cara yang paling senang nak tulis, N huruf kecil. Lepas tu formula tu tulis kat bawah dah. Okay? No rush? Answer?
(7.716 times 10 to the power of -3).
Mole.
Mole.
Okay? Settle
Yeah.
soalan B. Next. C. Question asking for the number of molecule. Obviously, look at quinine sayang. Your quinine, C20H24N2O2. Ada berapa jenis elemen dalam tu? How many element we have in that? Balkis? Nurul Balkis. How many element we have in that? Four. Thank you. Carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen. Natasha, what is the total number of atom? How many atoms is that?
48.
48. 20 tambah 24 tambah 2 tambah 2. Setuju? But if the question only asking for molecule, this whole thing is actually one molecule. Betul? Tapi sekarang soalan tanya number of molecule of quinine when you have 2.5 gram. 2.5 gram is equals to this number of mole. Untuk cari number of molecule, I know we need the number of mole. The question over here, perlu kira balik number of mole? Tak payah, guna yang kamu dah kira kat B. So number of molecule, obviously kita akan compare dengan Avogadro constant. 1 mole of C20H24 N2O2 will give rise to 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 molecule. Sekarang saya tak ada 1 mole. Seperti yang kita dah kira, we don't have 1 mole. We only have 7.716 times 10 to the power of negative 3 mole of quinine. That will equals to how many molecule? Yang dah buat, anybody want to try your answer?
4.645 darab 10 kuasa negatif 10 kuasa 21.
Alright, 4 point something times 10 to the power of 21 molecule. Setuju kelas? Senang. Soalan ni bukan susah apa. Soalan ni dia susah sebab keyword. Kamu kena pandai baca keyword dia. Next, soalan D. Number of oxygen atom only. Nak number of oxygen bermakna kamu kena cari. Sebelum nak sampai number of oxygen, kita kena ada apa dalam tangan dulu? Anybody? Nak dapat number of oxygen atom. Alright, nak dapat oxygen atom je. Sebelum tu kena ada? Azri?
Number of mole oxygen.
Number of mole untuk oksigen sahaja. Betul? Tu je. Nak dapat dia, cari number of mole dia dulu. So D, cari number of mole oksigen dulu. 1 mole of your quinine, 1 mole of C20H24 N2O2. In here, alright, how many mole of oxygen atom? Daniel?
24.
Hah?
24.
Soalan D weh. Oxygen atom.
2.
2 mole of oxygen atom. Guna balik number of mole yang kita kira tadi, saya tak ada 1 mole pun. Kita hanya ada 7.716 darab 10 kuasa negatif 3 mole of quinine. Alright? Mole of this quinine is producing how many mole of oxygen atom only? Alright? Saya tak nak bagi jawapan. Saya nak kamu kira dah untuk dua hujung ni. Boleh ke? Bila kamu dah dapat number of mole untuk oxygen atom ni, you got this answer. Kamu akan compare number of mole ni. Kamu akan compare number of mole ni dengan apa? Kalau saya nak dapat number of oxygen atom. Kita compare dengan apa? Long?
Avogadro constant.
Thank you. 1 mole oxygen atom, you are getting 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 oxygen atom. So I don't have 1 mole. Obviously, I'm pretty sure I don't have 1 mole. So this number of mole, all right, will produce how many mole of oxygen atom? This is your final answer. Sayang, berhati-hati dengan 10 darab 23. Make sure guna exponent, make sure guna bracket. Ada masalah? Boleh. Soalan senang. Soalan senang dengan syarat kita still balik kepada you need to know kalau kamu ada number of mole, saya nak compare dengan particles. Particles I mean over here. Kalau saya nak compare dengan number of atom, number of molecule, number of ion, alright, that is your particle, isn't it? You must compare with Avogadro constant, which is your 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 and put them in the bracket. If the question want to find the mass, if the question stated the word mass, okay, if the question stated the word mass over here, your mole must compare with the molar mass. And we always start with 1 mole. Okay? If you look at all my answer, if we go back and look back to all our answer, if you don't trust me, 1 mole is berapa? 1 mole dapat berapa? 1 mole pegang berapa? Always start with 1 mole. That is the easiest way. Tak payah fikir merapu-rapu, tak payah fikir panjang-panjang. Always go back to the question. Soalan nak apa? Soalan bagi apa? Soalan sekarang nak number of oxygen atom. So kalau nak number of oxygen atom, I know we definitely use Avogadro constant. Sebab apa? Sebab number of oxygen atom, dia melibatkan particles. Betul? Tapi sebelum dapat number of oxygen, saya kena cari something. Nak compare dengan particles ni, saya kena dapat number of mole untuk oxygen atom dulu. Right? Setuju? Kita tak bincang soalan D, soalan last. Let's see. If the last question over here asking about mass of hydrogen atom. Sayang, soalan nak mass. What do you think we are going to compare? What do you think we are going to use to compare to get the mass? Anybody? Syuhada ada bersuara? Syuhada?
Molar mass.
Molar mass. Keyword soalan. Soalan kata mass. I'm definitely using molar mass already. Dan sebelum saya guna molar mass, sebelum saya nak dapat mass tu guna molar mass, saya kena ada number of mole. Betul? Dan soalan nak hanya pasal hydrogen atom. Number of mole siapa yang kita nak cari? Number of mole hydrogen atom sahaja. Nampak? That's it. I mean, we are no longer in SPM. Of course, you won't be having a question. Beza soalan kat sini dengan beza soalan kat SPM. Soalan SPM direct. Saya bagi mole, soalan nak mass. Habis. Betul? Tapi kat sini, problem dia adalah saya bagi volume. Soalan mula dengan volume. Lepas tu soalan nak mass. Dan yang paling teruk adalah soalan mula dengan mass orang lain. Soalan mula dengan mass quinine. Tapi perasan tak? Kat bawah ni, tak ada satu pun yang dia tanya quinine kat hujung. Betul tak? Alright? So, kamu kena buat perkadaran. Dalam quinine, saya ada berapa oxygen atom? Dalam quinine, saya ada berapa hydrogen atom? Make sense? It's easy. It's very easy dengan syarat, hang jangan cita-cita tinggi, Dia akan jadi susah because you want to get it done in one step. Dia akan jadi susah kalau kamu nak darab semua benda. 6.0, kamu nak darab Avogadro constant pun dalam ni. Kamu nak darab molar mass pun dalam ni. Okay, benda ni akan jadi susah. Don't do it in one step. Because I know if you go Google, if you go online, if you go look for other videos, other notes, akan ada manusia yang tunjuk one step solution. Konon nak pandai. Tak payah. Go step by step. First thing, because every step is a mark. Jawapan akhir satu markah je. Kenapa nak hilang markah? That is the first thing. Second thing, at the end of the day, in the exam, bukan siapa habis awal dapat markah tinggi weh. Siapa jawab betul dapat markah tinggi. Right? Kenapa nak habis awal? Kenapa nak buat cepat? Make sense? Same thing. Soalan ni kita tak bincang. Okay? Question asking for number of ion. Okay? Daniel, number of ion means we are going to use what as a conversion?
Number of particle.
Number of particles. Avogadro constant. Right? Sebab soalan minta number of ion. Question asking for number of ion formed in 0.3 mole of zinc chloride. Before I get the number of mole of ion, I need to find the number of mole of the ion. Before I get the number of ion. So zinc chloride dalam ni, 1 mole zinc chloride. Saya nak, kalau betul yang ni sepatutnya akan betul lah. 1 mole zinc chloride akan dapat berapa mole ion? Nurin? 2 je. Jawapan lain? Orang lain? Fazli ni? Tak dengar suara you hari ni. Saya tak faham apa yang kawan kamu type tu. 2 darab A biar apa benda? 2 darab AC. 4. Baukis kata 4. Oh bukan, Baukis soalan jawapan tadi. Safan, saya tak faham jawapan kamu. 1 mole of zinc chloride, how many ions? Jawapan lain?
3.
Go. 3. Why 3 go?
Because 1 zinc ion and 2 chloride ion.
1 zinc 2 plus and 2 Cl minus. So 1 mole of zinc chloride actually give you 3 mole of ion. 1 cation, 2 anion. If you get this right, then you should be good. Next. Soalan minta mole of calcium nitrate. Senang kalau tanya mole, senang lah. In 49.2 gram, soalan ni senang. Soalan bagi mass. Soalan tanya mole. Ni tak boleh jawab, aku ketuk kepala sampai penyek. What is the conversion we use? What is the conversion we use? Tak dengar. Molar mass. Easy. Okay. If the question asking for the mass of carbon atom, similar as soalan 11 tadi. Soalan tanya mass in 0.5 mole of ethane. Nampak tak? Dia bagi dalam unit lain, orang lain. Tapi dia nak mass of carbon atom. Dan sebelum kita apa? Bila saya kata mass, kita definitely akan guna molar mass. Confirm dah? Betul? Dan sebelum saya guna molar mass, dan sebelum saya cari mass, saya kena dapat something dulu. Saya kena dapat number of mole of carbon atom. I only need number of mole of carbon atom. But, in fact, alright, I have mole of ethane. See that? Nampak soalan? So, bila kamu baca soalan, kamu roughly patut ada idea, okay, yang saya nak adalah mass. Saya kena guna molar mass. So, kalau saya nak mass untuk carbon atom sahaja, saya kena ada number of mole untuk carbon atom. Betul? So nak dapat number of mole carbon atom, cari daripada dia lah. So 1 mole of ethane, C2H4. How many mole of how many mole of carbon is in there, Azri?
Yeah. 2 mole carbon. Atom.
Right? Betul? And we don't have 1. We only have 0.5. And work it out. Easy? Fix all your tutorial question today. Fix everything. I want question 1 until 11 tonight before 12 o'clock. Boleh? I will change the due date later. Yang salah kira, yang tak kira, yang kira tak tepat, yang tulis tak lengkap, tulis balik semua. Dan pesan kat kawan kamu yang tak buat kerja saya tu. Dan esok kelas 1 jam tu, waktu tu, time tu, ataupun kalau kamu nak minta time lain sebab esok cuti kan, tak ada kelas kan, message saya kat WhatsApp, bagi tahu nak buat quiz pukul berapa. Kita akan buat quiz sama macam last week, 25 minit hingga 30 minit, 100% question on mole conversion. So you need a very fresh mind, you need a lot of papers, and you need, carefully. Semua soalan lebih kurang. Okay? Tak ada nak cuti. You don't have time. Boleh? Question? Ada soalan pasal mole, apa-apa tanya balik. Alright? Kalau siapa-siapa yang tak faham hari ni, tolong tanya balik, tengok balik video. Tolong